You don't need to be voluntold, do you?
I do it every single time, guys. I still have my inspiration, so.
I used my inspiration last time, so I'll do it again.
Okay.
It's been like a
Um,
week, and I don't really remember exactly what happened. I remember we killed some shit.
Yeah,
You
we
kicked
kind of
some
wrapped the
ass.
plot that we've had thus far.
We fought the Marshmallow Man, and it was terrifying.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we fought the Marshmallow Man.
It was seriously like some Ghostbusters in New York kind of stuff. So, do you want me just to recap like the last session or the plot thus far?
This last session works, but whatever you think is required for it.
Okay. So we were investigating the good something
The good
disappearance.
Rose.
Good Rose. Got my notes now. Got them now. Got where I put 'em.
I got mine.
In our investigation into the disappearance of the Good Rose, and some of the other stuff we've encountered around town, we decided to go to the graveyard in the evening. While we were there, Laughing Fox saw a ghost chased after her, so we all chased after Laughing Fox. Went into a swamp in the woods where there was a mysterious house, and found some, like a summoning circle and an old book and whatnot, and the ghost turned out not to really be a ghost, but was actually the daughter of the Good Rose. She had been coerced by a demon of some stripe to make sure her family didn't split apart, and so she sewed them together, and we ended up killing a demon, and I tried to knock the girl out, and it worked. She was unconscious, and then she died.
Knocked her out of the world.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's really hard to club a baby and not have it die.
Well, first they gotta stab him in the shoulder, neck area.
So then we decided that it was best just to burn the place to the ground, because we're player characters and it's what we do. So we burned the place to the ground.
Actually, it was so horrible and so vile inside that I say burn it all, burn everything.
And so we did. We grabbed. There was a little box that she had that we got. We have that with us. And I think other than that, everything was burned. And that
We
included
burned like
the
this
book.
demonic circle, yeah. Demonic circle.
And a spell book got burned too.
Right. That ended up screaming into the night after us while it was burning, releasing the echoes of demons or something.
Unintended consequences. Plus. I'll tell you, in my other campaign, the last 2 magic items I found have both been cursed, so I'll take this as a minor victory.
Okay. So I think that was it, unless there's something.
No, I think that pretty much covers it.
Excellent.
All right, so we left off with you guys walking away with your backs turned to this fire, all badass-like, after such an awesome fight.
We didn't look at the fire as we were walking away.
Yep.
Absolutely not. It's against the rules.
But you arrive back in Maroon, and it's still the middle of the night. Guards are just kind of mulling around. I take it you guys probably head back to the inn and seek shelter for the night, or anything else in mind? Because if so, we can just jump forward to the next morning if you would like.
Yeah.
I don't really see us doing anything else tonight, so.
We could have some, like, impressive, like, bedroom roleplay. You don't even know. But, we can skip
Is Bessie
that, I
still in
suppose.
town?
Here we go.
As a matter of fact, no.
Roll on intimidate. Here
Right.
we go.
that was Trigon.
Oh,
What do you use intimidate?
We're gonna have a no intimidate policy in the party pretty soon.
The bad boy act. so, so you guys end up getting your rooms back at the end. This time, all of the rooms were available for you. Now, a question: who was carrying the box?
I think me.
Okay.
He was because he had the stone.
And now that all three rooms are available, do you all still sleep in the same room, or what do you guys do?
I get my own room.
Ruby would be all about sharing bedrooms. Don't even know. Whether that's alone or with everybody, doesn't matter.
Laughing Fox kind of keeps Tara around.
Oh. Alright. Well, then that leaves your character as the odd man out. You gotta pick your room to go in.
Let's see here. Looks like it's going to be Ruby.
Oh, snap.
All right. So you all go to sleep rather peacefully. Ruby, you kind of toss and turn all night, unknowing why, but you could definitely you don't sleep as comfortable as the others. And Thronk, actually, you're going to wake up first thing before anyone else. And it's not because you woke up extra early, it's because you woke up just shortly after falling asleep, it felt like. Kind of like a dream was starting to come over you. And then suddenly that dream faded into what seems to be consciousness. But it still kind of felt like you're dreaming.
Okay.
And you're lying in your bed when you feel this sudden consciousness, this lucidity kind of come over you. And you look outside, and it's still dark out. The stars are still up in the sky, and you see Ruby lying in the bed across the room from you.
Still managing to kick me from over there.
Dude, you don't even know.
But it sounds like there's whispers, and the whispering is kind of coming from it's kind of omnidirectional. It's coming from like several directions at the same time. But these whispers are just so faint you can't tell what they're saying. But you can tell that they're there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to concentrate really hard on trying to listen to what's being said and where it's coming from, or try to pinpoint it.
Mm-hmm.
And almost subconsciously, while like trying to be quiet and pay close attention to the whispers, my hand will reach into probably an a belt pouch that is right on the side of my bed, and pull out my onyx, my stone.
Okay. So your pouch. Where did you set the box, by the way? Was that in your backpack? Or was that just kind of on a shelf there in the room?
I probably wouldn't have had it in my backpack carrying it back, but I'm sure Ruby probably would have had some strong opinions about how it was stored or kept or something, and I wouldn't have any. So if Ruby would have had a preference saying, "Oh no, it's got to be kept in a drawer," or something like that, then there's that. Otherwise, I
it must
probably
be secured amongst as many soft things as possible.
And as you think this, you even hear his voice, or excuse me, you even hear her voice.
Well, I mean, we would have taken care of that before we went
Yes.
down. So, right, I would have just thrown it on an end table or some some piece of furniture, set it on there. But
I got you. But one of these whispers, for a moment there, it sounds like it's exactly what you and Ruby were talking about earlier. And it's coming from the dresser inside of where he said to place it,
Okay.
or she said. I'm sorry. Sorry. Ruby said. I'm sorry, Ruby.
Next time, don't pick such a masculine name.
I know, right? Ruby's like such a manly name.
Oh yeah, it's the olive green outfit wearing.
Khaki.
Khaki. I'm colorblind, so that's why my screen's black and white.
Olive khaki.
If I'm relatively sure that I can identify some of the whispers coming from there, I'll approach it. I'll go over to it.
Okay. So as you approach, the whispers, they're obviously becoming stronger and louder, and you you kind of hear these voices getting louder and louder until they're starting to sound more like wails instead of whispering. And when this happens, you see Ruby all of a sudden spring up from her bed, just directly facing you. And she reaches out with her hands and wraps them around your neck and begins squeezing. And Corey, I need a strength check from you.
Okay, 8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. It's okay, Ruby's super strong.
You're gonna get
Okay.
strangled to death.
So
I rolled real good. I rolled real good on that.
So as you're strangling this, or as this figure is strangling you, you feel your hands come up to Ruby, and you begin strangling her back, dropping the box onto the ground. And as you're staring into her eyes begin to roll back into her head, and she begins gasping for air. And Ruby, I need a strength check from you.
Oh no. We're both gonna be failing to strangle each other to death. It's gonna be amazing. Apparently Ruby
Awkward.
is way stronger than him though. And she has an 18 on the check.
And Ruby, you're suddenly awoken in the middle of your tossing and turning slumber by hands around your neck. And you instinctively bring your hands up too, and there is Thronk standing over top of you, strangling you in your sleep. And you've brought your hands up to strangle him back. Except that you seem to be the leader in what's going on. So Thronk is the one who you're seeing his eyes roll into the back of his head. And it's in the middle of the night. And so you both see her strangling the hell out of each other.
So let me just ask this now. Since I got my own room, does that mean I'm not affected by any of this craziness, right?
No, it's just Ruby and Thronk.
You're over there choking something, but that's entirely different.
Oh, snap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Alright.
better be glad,
So
better be
Ruby
glad
would
we're
kind
all
of-
there.
Yeah. Well, we might hear noises, but we'll just assume it's entirely consensual.
Way to go.
Ruby would see this guy trying to strangle her, and she would try to squirm out of his grip if she could.
Well, you actually kind of overpower him as well because
Okay.
because you counter strangled him.
That's right. So yeah, Ruby basically would have caught him off guard, perhaps using some of her hidden strength to get the upper hand on him. Perhaps he was drinking the night before, as he is often prone to do. And with the upper hand given, she would immediately try to bolt out of the room if she could, trying to just get away from this guy. He's like way bigger, way stronger, way more crazed. Perhaps she would try to use a cunning action to just run out of there.
So you're now awake, Thronk.
Okay. So I'm awake and I'm seeing that Ruby is just bolted out of the room.
Yeah, Ruby would bolt out of the room and immediately run to the next room over, which I imagine would be Dragon Man's room. And he'd hear this loud banging on his door, probably loud enough to wake him up. It would be fast and quite furious.
and I'll be there just like wondering how I got where I'm at from the drawer. Like,
And Dragon would be hearing this right now.
What in the what? What is it?
And he would hear on the other side of the door. It'd be kind of raspy and tired sounding. Thronk tried to.
Not interested. I'm tired.
Thronk is crazy. And you would see her like banging on the door until you open it.
Oh God, dang it! Oh God! And then he opens the door like, "What is it?" As he slams his hand to one side of the door frame, and look at you like tired and haggard.
And she would kind of look up at the.
Someone dying? Is someone dying? This better be someone dying.
Ruby would say, "I was almost dying. I don't know. Maybe Thronk thought I was Bessie or something, but he was strangling me." And she would show him her neck, and there'd be these like deep red marks from where he was easily
And I
grabbing
touch her
her.
face from I leap, touch her face, and look from side to side. I'm like, okay, take me to him. Jesus Christ! And I'm like grumpy and all this here.
And she would walk back very careful. She doesn't exactly trust this dragon either, but at least he hasn't tried to strangle her yet. So she would carefully look into the room, very nervous from her friend trying to strangle her to death. She would say,
All right, and do I see this?
I mean, you would probably see him standing up, looking very confused.
Is he still strangling someone?
no, I'm the only one in the room at this point.
All right. I look at him. What the hell is your problem? Why are you strangling Ruby?
I don't know. I was looking at the box.
Ruby would kind of.
I'm like,
Ruby
okay,
would be very alarmed.
I look at Ruby. Was he looking at your box?
Ruby would be like, she would like kind of blush like in confusion. She would say, "No, I think it's his box." And she would kind of be perplexed for a moment, and she would just say, maybe one of you two outside of the room should watch the box so you don't strangle anyone in your room.
Okay. And he just has this confusion look. What box are you talking about? I thought you were talking about
the one from the woods.
The baby box.
Oh, that. Oh, okay. All right. That was y'all. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Just give me the box.
You'd see Ruby walk over to the box, and she'd kind of fish in her bag for like rope. She'd pull the rope out, and she wouldn't touch the box. She would kind of wrap the rope around it, and then grab the rope and kind of hand it to him, not wanting to have any physical contact with the demonic cursed object. She would say, "Yeah, here you go."
I take the box to the front. Is the innkeeper up or asleep?
He's sleeping.
He's asleep.
All right. I bang on the table like, "Do you have a safe here?"
And he kind of sits up abruptly. A safe? No, we don't. I don't have a safe.
Okay, you got any place where you keep valuables at?
And he just kind of like looks around himself because this is the only other room in the whole inn.
Oh,
He's
God
like, no.
damn it. Fine, I'm going to bed. Thank you. And he just takes the box, throw it on the table, and go back to sleep. That is my total reaction to the whole. I have no fear of the box. I slam the door, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed now. Now y'all stop choking each other or whatever else. And if you do choke each other, do it silently.
Ruby would like sit back in her bed and stare across the room at this serial choker. And,
serial choker.
She would say,
Once is a pattern. Yep.
You're not the first woman he's choked in the last 24 hours.
and she would kind of stare at him, and she would say, I hope it was just the box. Next time, just ask. And then she would kind of like look away, and she would obviously the answer would still be no, but at least he would know instead of trying to kill her. And she would just kind of bury herself underneath the covers and hope to
Why
God he
does this
doesn't
feel
strangle her.
so much like?
Don't forget to pick a safe word.
Oh yes, what is the safe word?
Oh, God. How did this go from horror mystery to BDSM?
The two are really, really close together. I mean, there's a very fine line. Very fine line there.
You know you're having fun when.
Yeah, so Ruby would go back to sleep, but she'd be very weary of this individual, hoping that it's not like a permanent effect.
Okay, so you guys are able to rest for the rest of the night with complete ease. Drygon, you don't stir even one bit. You are so sound asleep, like nothing stirs you. You sleep like a brick, and you all awaken the next morning and begin doing your regular morning routines before you head off out of the inn.
Packed on the bed.
Alright.
Sorry. Next time we'll put it in the freezer if I don't.
So what happening at this point?
You slept.
I slept like a brick.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, you didn't stir one bit.
Alright. So I sleep through the night, morning comes. Does anything happen?
Nope.
You would be surprised to see that Ruby would be awake first. Well, after the elf, probably.
So I wake up, I grab the box, I walk in the room, I walk over to the ogre, I wake him up.
Or
half orc.
We'll go
that's
up to
pretty
the
racist. That's pretty
I
racist.
mean, you know.
And I look at him like, "Are you awake? Are you awake?
Yes.
Here's your damn box." And I go leave out the room. And slam the door on my way out.
And I'll just put it on whatever kind of nightstand and table is there.
And as I walk out the room, quick, innkeeper, do me a favor, can you have someone from the bar bring over breakfast because my roommates kept me up all bloody night. Here's some gold. Can you just have them bring me food? Thank you very much. I slam the door and go, what?
We'll come up for 5 minutes. That's keeping him up all night.
It's gonna be 8 hours uninterrupted. Doesn't count. You broke the concentration.
Well, keep in mind, I was kind of jacked up, beat up all the crap, been thrown into objects. It's going to take me a couple of days before I'm not in a grouchy mood.
Right.
Fair enough. So you do these morning routine things, and he runs off. The innkeeper runs off to the tavern, puts your order in, and even goes and brings it back to you. I mean, you paid him a gold, which is more than a month's salary to him. So he takes this, generous offer and definitely does as you requested. And the rest of you finish up your routines. Was there anything specific you needed to do before you guys left the inn?
Gotta meditate for a little bit.
Excellent. And by the way, Corey, when the box was brought back to you, I don't know if you had the piece of onyx on you or not, but you definitely could sense it getting warmer as Drygon brought it to you again.
Okay. Yeah, it probably definitely would have, since it probably would have been a while before I actually slept, and probably would have been like holding it and thinking about things and meditating.
I gotcha.
Before, and then drifted off to sleep. So.
All right, so What do you guys do after you leave?
Ruby would try to act as if nothing happened, and would kind of look to her allies and say, so I think we technically finished our job here.
So, did anyone try to wake me up, or are y'all just gonna leave me alone?
Well, I think
I'll leave you alone.
They came back and gave you your food, so I imagine you were waking up to get your food before we left. So I imagine we ate our food and then left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we completed what we initially set out to.
Just like in a mechanical sense, our mission was to figure out what happened, and we are to report this back to her in the other town? Or are we supposed to report it to the guy in this town?
As you guys remembered, Penniless was very interested in finding out what had happened to Daryl and his family because, you see, he was very interested in buying the lands. And, with purchasing this land, he, offered you guys some, a fair amount of gold for it. And he was also wondering if you guys were going to be keeping it or not.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was one loose end that you still have.
The
other
Ruby,
one was
Ruby would definitely not let him have it. At least not for free.
The other little bit of information you would have was, in addition to the going and finding what happened to Daryl, she wanted you to look deeper into why the wizards weren't able to scry into the myth. Which, if seeking out the source of power that might have been coming out of Waycrest that prevented them from doing so.
Okay. So Ruby would kind of suggest to her allies, we should probably explain what happened, and I think we need to go back into the mists and get to the bottom of what's down in there.
So blunt.
Yeah, I'm inclined to stay on board here and do what I can to try to help these people.
Well, I'm no wizard. I don't know what I don't know why their magic wasn't working.
Ruby would kind of look to her allies and say, well, I imagine that the ghost child is just a symptom of a larger problem. Obviously, stopping the child is helpful, but I'm sure there'll be many more like that one if we
Oh,
don't
please,
figure out.
please, no, not many more like that one. I don't think my ribs can take it.
Well, if we're successful, there won't be.
I think I think the box that we recovered has something to do with the child's corruption.
I slept fine. I had no problem. Y'all must have some type of like issue, like a weak constitution or something, because I was fine. I slept like a baby dragon. I was good.
Oh, a wormling, I see. We would look over to Laughing Fox and try to gauge what her opinion is on the matter.
Laughing Fox said wasn't sure what she could do. I mean, besides, it's not like we have any more leads besides that box that we picked up.
I imagine the muddy footprints were of the ghost girl.
Well, she wasn't a ghost, and I would assume so.
Well, regardless, let's go to Penniless and explain what happened. Perhaps we can come to some sort of agreement with him.
We can certainly try.
And Ruby would lead everyone over to his house, and she would kind of make it known to everybody that she would like to negotiate the sale of the land.
Okay.
But she would let the half-orc, roughhouse him on the bartering, perhaps.
Okay. So we do want to sell him the land rather than keep it for our duration here.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do with the land? We're not farmers. You want to live in a haunted house?
Well, I don't know that the house is haunted.
How big is the house?
Like a 2-story with a basement, right?
No, just a 2-story with Shem.
Is there enough rooms to house everyone in our party at this point in time?
There's 2 bedrooms upstairs and a storage shed and a living room and a fireplace downstairs.
So this can be set up as a overall base camp, correct? Then
Could be. Yeah.
I'm like, you want to make this a base camp? Or we still, where we, after our adventures, we come here and rest up for a couple of days?
I suppose we'd have to clean it up, though. Covered in mud.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that hard to hire somebody who'd be willing to clean it.
Yeah, let's support the local economy, guys.
And the next question is, besides hire somebody, how much was he going to give us for this land in the first place?
We'd have to negotiate.
Let's hear a price and then let him down, because his price won't be high enough. Because I don't like him very much. He's not a very nice individual.
There's that.
But it's always good to have like an offer to compare with other people for the future.
Yeah, we can see how much he wants for the land and go from there.
I mean, if he offers like a ludicrous amount of money, I mean, I would gladly rob him blind for it, sure. But
I've been in this city before, but I don't know what the property values were before this blight, or what they are now. But I imagine it's not a seller's market with all the empty houses.
Ruby would smile, and she would kind of lean in close and say, yes, but see, a master buys low and sells high. Maybe he's purposely ruined the land so that in the future he can sell it for more when he fixes it.
Are you talking about some weird land buying scheme?
Retailers are evil as shit, man.
I'm like,
Ruby would bring out some notes. Ruby would bring out some notes and like present you some basics of economics and perhaps the evils of corporate capitalism. And she would show you them, and she would say, well, these are just some examples. Not everyone is evil, of course. Just this particular individual. He seems to like ethics, and ethics are very hard to earn after you've lost them. Some might say impossible.
So we just skin him and be done with it then? You sound like a horrible human being.
Well, we don't know that this is what he's doing.
I look at he just explained me this, and what he's telling me, this guy's a scumbag. We should just kill him.
Yeah, but technically, I mean, they have these things called laws, and I mean, do you want to go to prison over a scumbag?
They gotta find a body first, and as I spit a bit of acid on the ground.
Ruby would smile and say, well, you look like a very stealthy, clever individual. I'm sure you could just melt his bones into goo, and they'd never find him again.
All right, let's see what.
She like half jokes, by the way. She doesn't believe that you would be able to.
So let's see what happens. I will weigh out my options then, but I make no guarantees I won't melt him and just ask him when I see him.
Ruby would nod and say, "Okay, just be aware that in the event that you murder him, it's incidental and I had nothing to do with it. Hazard pay, of course. You know, all that stuff."
Okay.
Oh yeah, I got you.
On to Penniless.
Okay. So as you guys approach the town hall, it still kind of looks exactly like it did last time, except some of the guards are in a little different positions. You guys walk up. You guys approach the table as normal, and there seems to be fewer people here. Even there's only like one person ahead of you, and they're just finishing up, and they leave. And there's Penniless sitting back in his chair as usual, with some scrolls and things about there on the table in front of him, and he's got a quill and a couple things of ink here, and he's writing in something. It looks like some sort of log of some sort.
Okay. Well, I will approach and put my hand out to shake his.
Penniless doesn't exactly notice you at first, but when he kind of like feels your hand move up, he kind of stops for a moment and looks up at you, Thronk, and everyone else, and then goes back, finishes what he's writing, and sticks the quill into his ink jar there, leans back, and so, did you decide what you're going to be doing with the property?
Well, not exactly. We have found out that the Goodrow family are not going to be returning, unfortunately.
Well, I could have told you that, but did you find out what happened?
They're dead.
Dead.
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, did you have proof?
Ruby would show the signet ring.
Excellent. Can I take that? I'll have to give that to the captain. Actually, do you think you can make a delivery for me?
Ruby would think about this for a moment, and she would say, "Well, I can allow him to see it. I don't know about giving it to him. It's not his property. Although he can look at it for evidence, of course."
I don't need you to. He doesn't need to keep the ring. He just needs to see it. You see, and he reaches down into his papers and things and kind of pulls one of them out, specifically one that he's written himself.
Of course.
Instead of just filling in what Mayor Dewey needs. So he pulls this one out and says, here it is. This letter goes to the captain at Fort St. Clair. You deliver this letter to him and show him the ring, and he can stamp on it, and then the entire property here is officially under Dewey Little. Except for you guys wanted to keep it, correct?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, hold on. And he pulls the letter back, and he looks at it to make sure it's the right one. And he's like, oh, hold on a sec. And he reaches down and pulls up a second one. He's like, it's always good to be prepared.
That seems totally legitimate, yeah.
He says, then go ahead and give this one to the captain. And this letter lets him know that we've figured out what to do with the property, and it's now going to be bereaved. Go ahead and fill in your name on the scroll before you turn it into him, and you're all set. Show him the ring as well.
Ruby would look at the paperwork, and she would thoroughly comb through it, checking it over and over again to make sure he hasn't created any loopholes to try to steal the property back.
Reading through the loopholes and things, you can tell that Penniless is not a lawyer in any sort. In fact, it's not even exactly something of his own creation. It's just a rewording of what the captain required, restating what you would be showing up for, and what proof was required, what you discovered. and who to talk to about about the disappearance and what to do with the property. And it says right there where it's got your line where you can just go ahead and sign your name in there, and that's it. It doesn't say anything about Dewey owning the property or him.
All right, Ruby would sign it, and then she would look back to him and say, "Oh, we were just curious what your offer would be on this property, by the way."
Well, Mayor Dewey estimated the property at 120 gold.
And Ruby would look to him, and she would say, "Is that what you would pay, or is that what you would sell it for?"
Me? And he kind of stares up around a little bit. He kind of looks at you guys and says, I really don't have a lot of time for you today, but I would probably resell it for 200.
And Ruby would kind of smile and say, "All right, thank you," and she would just leave. She would, her interest in this individual would have waned by this point, and she would have just left.
And he kind of, purses his lips a little bit, like he was going to say something else, but kind of sits back in his chair and looks at the rest of you and says, "And what do you want?"
We're here just to. You said you wanted to know what happened to the Goodrow family. You said you had a personal interest in it.
Well, what did happen? How did you come across the ring?
To be honest, the details you probably don't want to know, but they were found in a swamp. Give them the general direction.
You found them all dead, or did you kill them?
They were dead when we found them.
Oh, I had to ask. You are, of course, half barbarian.
Oh, dang!
Well, that's all
I immediately look with a sense of menace in my. What did you say exactly again? To my comrade.
Now you see, we were having a nice, pleasant conversation, but then you have to go and insult my heritage.
It'd be too easy to insult your face. Now, if you have nothing else to discuss, I really have to get back to work.
No, I'm afraid I think I am done discussing things.
Okay, I asked him, do you want to hit him, or can I hit him?
Oh, I'm going to hit him all right.
But I want to hit him.
And when he says this, like the look on your face, like the guard kind of, he kind of chuckles a little bit.
Ruby is walking to the captain, by the way, so she has an alibi.
Okay.
And how many guards are currently in the room?
There are 2 guards in the room.
I throw one gold piece to both. I'm like, do me a favor, go deaf and blind for a few minutes.
And both the guards kind of, like, the gold kind of lands on the ground, and they're just kind of looking at it with their eyes kind of big, and they look over at Penniless and they look back at each other. And Penniless is, kind of leaning forward now, more interested in what's going on. Because,
well, I'm going to step up and I'm going to step up to him. He's sitting at a desk, right?
That's correct. He's still sitting.
Well, soon the impact of my fist on his face is going to have him laying down behind the desk.
Okay. So describe to me how you hit him.
Right. I'm moving up, and he like you said, he's sitting behind the desk. So I'm stepping up, sort of to the as I'm facing the desk. It would be like on the left side of the desk. So it'd be his right. Right. So that my right hand is it can extend over the desk, and as soon as I'm within enough range, right, where he's sitting, I'm just pull back and using those the muscles built from years of climbing rigging.
Okay. Don't even roll the attack. Just roll me damage.
Are you sure? Because that was a natural 19 on that attack. What is a fist? Is it D4?
It's
Yes.
well, technically it's a 1 plus strength mod,
Oh, it's just one.
unless you're trained, unless you're like a monk or something.
I
Okay,
got
so
you.
1 plus strength will be a 4.
Okay. Well, that's you definitely catch him off guard, and his chair even goes back. And when his chair goes back, his feet kind of hit the bottom of the table, and he just completely flips back into his chair. And you hit him you hit him so hard he's instantly bruising. Like he's turning dark blue right now. And he
And
just lets out a loud "Ah!" and,
and I stand in front of this whole incident with my hands resting on my scimitars, looking at the guards.
And the guards, they're looking at each other, and then they look at you, Drygon. And then, one of them slowly leans down to pick up the gold coin, and the other one follows suit.
Now that's what I'm talking about right now.
And then they give you a nod, just a silent nod, and then they turn and walk out.
And I just smile.
This is the point where you tell him that he fell down the stairs.
Yeah, he fell down a lot.
So, Penalist just goes back. He's just lights out.
Okay. So I will move over, stand over top of him and kneel down, and just smack his cheek a little bit to try to wake him up.
And he kind of comes to a little bit, and he's like, "No, don't hit me again."
Okay. Well, hopefully, this has knocked some manners into you.
I'm sorry. Just don't hit me. I'm sorry. And he kind of sounds like he's drunk now, off the pain.
Just gave him a concussion.
He's never been punched in his life, kind of reaction.
Right. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, just go, please, just go.
Oh, I think there was some money involved for us bringing back the news.
And he kind of rummages around in his cloak real quick, just kind of hastily, kind of just reaching for whatever he's got in his pockets. And he pulls out a handful of gold and holds it up to you, Throck, because you're just right there in front of him.
How much is there, Throck?
I'll just quickly estimate it.
There's 7 gold.
It's fair enough, I suppose.
You sure you don't want it double? I mean, because his other cheek seems untouched.
He's like, "No, it's all I got on me. I'm sorry."
Okay. So what does this teach you now when you deal with different types of people?
Hey, what did you learn today? How to talk to strangers. Episode 1.
Tolerance through violence.
And he just kind of curls up and goes to the fetal position, just waiting for you to leave.
Okay, good. So the next time you see a half-orc or dragonborn, you mind your P's and Q's, or you're not going to have a jaw. So you want to have a drink now on his dime?
Yeah.
I'm like, good. Oh, and by the way, you fell down a lot. And if you try to cause us problems while we're here in town, you're gonna fall out of a tree with a rope attached to your neck. Are we kind of clear on the situation here, sir?
Yes.
Okay, it's good to know. We'll be in touch if we need anything from you.
And I'm gonna like reach down, kind of menacingly, and just fix his lapel. Make sure you look like a gentleman. It's like slap him pretty hard on the chest a couple times, and stand up and walk out.
Very nice.
I pat my compatriot on the back, and I'm like, that was fun.
I'm beginning to remember why they didn't want me back in this city the first time I left.
And as you guys leave the town center, like just over by the garrison, because the garrison's right next door, you see those same two guards now playing dice with a couple other soldiers.
Wow.
They both had to go on bathroom breaks. Come on.
Yeah, and I'm like, yep, good old military. I love it. As a former soldier myself, I know exactly how to talk to them and how to properly motivate them at times.
So where do you head to? Where do you go after you leave the town center?
We're going to go have drinks.
Okay.
Well, should we go and find Ruby and help her with delivering that message?
Yeah, I guess we should. Drinking later.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, Ruby would have probably already been there by now after their seemingly like 10-minute brutalizing of this individual.
It's like 2 minutes. It was one punch.
Oh,
For him, it felt like an hour. How long was I out, guys? I feel like I got killed.
Ah, you killed me. It's like a soccer player playing.
So Ruby, Fort St. Clair. You remember seeing on the signpost coming into Maroon that there was an arrow pointing down another road. This road travels southeast from here, about 2 days' journey to Fort St. Clair.
Oh, I thought Fort St. Clair was in the town. I thought that was the fort. Yeah, Ruby would quickly realize this and kind of remember, yeah, I probably don't want to walk there by myself. And she would probably just head back to the town and try to map out how long it's going to take to get there and what supplies they would need.
I got you.
She'd probably see her friends walking back to the bar and join them.
Okay. So, you guys all meet up at the tavern, correct?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you meet up at the tavern, and you guys probably go in. There's Alessa, and there's a couple of the farmers who just got off work, and they're just there enjoying some ale. And as you guys get there, she's kind of rocking the barrel as she's trying to get the last bits of the ale out of it.
I immediately
As
go
she's
over and
pouring.
help her do that.
And with your assistance, she's able to pour out 2 more glasses. Just barely though, like 1 and 2/3. And she holds them up, and she turns around and says, "Thank you so much for helping me with that. I couldn't get the angle just right to make it pour."
Angles. And I give her a wink and go back to my table.
And she sets the 2 drinks in front of the 2 gentlemen there at the bar, and then she kind of wipes her hand on a cloth and looks around at your group before approaching you all and says, "What could I? I don't really have anything left. As you just saw, that was the last of my barrel. I have to wait for another shipment."
When is the shipment supposed to come in?
Well, it's actually a few days late.
And I look at them like,
National emergency, guys.
Mark, if you will, but there is a saying at sea about how bad an omen it is when a tavern runs out of ale.
Yep.
Yes.
Which direction was the deliverables to come from?
It's supposed to come from Alistair. And Alistair is the most western side of Waycrest, where it's on the edge of the coast. It's a Corey. This is probably where you were first dropped off before you made your way to Maroon, because it's a very active half-orc city.
Okay.
Well, not half-orc, but the orcs in general. They're not all half-orcs. There's
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. But
The half orcs, the orcs and their victims.
half-orcs and their victims. But yeah, it's a big BDSM city.
Oh God, we've just gone to the dark place. We're so the anti-provokers at this point.
Well, there's not a lot we can do about a shipment that's lost. At least not without a ship to go and try to track down wherever the other ship may have crashed or whatever's delaying it. I've not noticed any storms or poor weather, apart from I believe it was raining 2 nights ago when we came in.
Ruby would look back to her allies and she would kind of say, I understand that this is an emergency, but I think it'd probably be more appropriate to go to the fort first. Maybe in a few days they'll find the beer somewhere, Maybe they got lost, and they just need a few extra days. And you can kind of tell that Ruby doesn't really care if the beer gets found.
Uh-huh.
And she kind of just looks back and smiles, hoping that he disagrees with her, even though she gave him no reason to.
And I'm looking like it's a tavern without ale. Like, how is this not your priority? Kind of a.
She would think for a moment and she would know. She'd figure out the answer. She's very smart. She would say maybe they have ale at the forts, and that way we don't have to go searching through the wilderness for it. Do they have ale at military bases? Sure, they have contraband. She would look to the dragon for verification that there's probably some military men in there hiding it somewhere. Dragon, that's you.
Oh,
Fell asleep again.
So I'm like, I guess we'll do the responsible thing. Lead on.
You said there's two guys at the tavern. Are they just people that we might have recognized just around town and not thought much of, or?
No, they don't really look familiar. I mean, they definitely look like the same kind of poor townsfolk. In fact, you do recognize them. They were the two guys sitting at the bar the first night you came in.
Okay.
And they're just back in there. And you can tell by the time of the day they're here, they're probably farmers because they just got home and it's afternoon. So they're probably out early in the morning and then worked all morning and whatnot.
Okay. Well, if they were like travelers or people who just arrived or something.
Oh yeah, they don't look like travelers whatsoever. They look like they're the exact same two people who were there last time.
Okay.
Now,
the blacksmith is in here, right?
No, you don't see the blacksmith in there. No.
His name was Geralt, right?
It was Geralt. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know why that stuck out to me. I've never heard that before.
But as you guys leave the tavern, you do notice that the clouds are moving in, and it definitely looks like it's going to start raining here soon.
More bloody rain.
Is our coach here, by the way?
The coach? No, the coach is actually gone, as is Bessie and all of them.
Ruby would not look forward to a 2-day trip in the rain.
Well,
Though Drygon's horse is still miraculously alive.
Why wouldn't he?
It's not like you fed him over the past 2 days.
Well, I did tie him up to the barn, so there should be hay and a water trough.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, because you left him in there with the old dying or the old decaying horse in the pasture next to it, and the horse shit in the corner that's been there for like a week.
Dude, everybody has to rough it here, even the horse, okay?
Okay, so you're gonna call PETA on me now because I
Horse,
haven't. Great, I'm gonna
No,
have PETA. I'm
no,
gonna
no,
get.
I mean, it seems like you're treating the horse in a very barbaric way. That was out of character, by the way.
right.
I don't want to get attacked.
Smart man, smart man.
I don't want to get strangled by another person.
I was contemplating witch bolting the guy for a moment.
Oh no, that would have been
And
disgusting.
I kind of went there first and was like, yeah, I'm going to punch him in the
Yeah.
face.
No, I was just like maybe the snap reaction is just to witch bolt the dude, but I was like, no, he might come up later and we'll punch him.
So you ruined the GM's plans. You killed the main villain of the story in the first episode.
No, I thought that was awesome. Hey, I have another group who's playing this, my local group, and they actually murdered the coachman in the middle of the night.
Why?
Fuck it, kill your servants. That's
Murder hobo.
And as a matter of fact, they never found the house. They just skipped town on the first night.
well,
No, the second night.
Dang, talk about derailing your game.
a little bit.
I guess you had to improvise, so at least now
Yeah.
when we leave the town, you have some adventures to give us, right?
Oh, I was prepared for if you guys decided to do that because I've already gone through it once.
Well, us experienced gamers tend not to go like all murder hobo on people.
It's more of a wait. You actually took the time and you wrote something and you're presenting it for us to play. Thank you. let's explore this a little bit.
But no, it's just a different story is all, and it's actually turned out to be kind of interesting, and it came back to bite them in the ass in a pretty creative way. So it was actually pretty cool the way it worked out, and it's going to be really interesting because your guys' playthrough is completely different. So it's nice to see how the two different storylines have done things, and how they're one person's actions have kind of molded it in a way, and your guys' actions are molding it even more. So.
Okay.
Because yeah, everything that you guys have done, I haven't gotten a chance to do with them. So it was really interesting to see how you guys have been coming across the challenges and overcoming them.
Alright, so what are we doing, guys? It's starting to rain.
I'm gonna ask the tavern owner. Is there anywhere around that we could perhaps buy horses? Anyone still in town that would have some to sell?
I don't know if they'd be willing to sell them, but the garrison might have a few horses left.
Oh,
They
the
bring
garrison.
they bring the horses here from Fort Sinclair to be shoed every other week. They just cycle out the different horses that they bring, and they usually bring about 5 or 6 at a time.
Maybe if we're lucky with the timing, we could ride some horses back there on their return trip.
Yeah, that would save you a day's journey.
Ruby would smile and she would say, "Oh, we could totally be the bodyguards for the military." I'm sure they need all the bodyguards they can get, you know. These strange mud golem babies running around.
Well, considering when they're employed to protect people, they seemingly lose their attention fairly quickly and have some issues with taking things from crime scenes, from what we've seen so far. So they maybe could use some help.
Yeah, perhaps you could convince the garrison commander to let us hop on.
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Hopefully your ale shipment comes in soon.
I do hope so. It's the only thing I have around here. In fact, it's the only thing most of these folks have around here now.
Where's the nearest place where you can get some ale at if you went there yourself?
Well, there is a tavern in Fort Sinclair. You see, the shipment usually makes a stop there before stopping here. Wouldn't make sense to travel all this way for just one little tiny shipment.
Right. Well, when we're at Fort Sinclair, we'll find out when or if they got their shipment and see if we can figure out what's going on.
That'd be very, very helpful if you did that for me. I would really like to know what's going on. And, if it's on its way, then don't worry about it if you see it on its way and it's just taking longer. So
It does seem like there's a storm coming in. And they could have been waylaid. Not jump to conclusions yet, but...
yeah, there's all sorts of possibilities. Well, you folks have a safe journey. I'm going to go ahead and close up here early because there's nothing to sell. There's no reason to be open.
Alrighty then.
And she kind of goes over to the counter because those guys have already finished their drinks by the end of the conversation. And they're like sliding off their stools and leaving because they just overheard her. And she's just going over to begin cleaning things up a bit.
Alright, guys, do we want to head to the garrison, I suppose? Unless you want to help her clean out the ale.
No, we'll head over to the garrison.
Okay, by the way, that cloak we received earlier, is it like a practical cloak or like a formal dress wear kind of cloak?
It's more of like it's a practical cloak, but it's just got that really good quality to it.
Alright, Ruby would probably wear it and try not to get drenched.
Okay. And it definitely, you can feel the weight of the fabric. It's really good at keeping you dry and warm.
Okay. So I guess we're heading over to the garrison for now, unless someone has something else to say.
I think...
No. I guess we head over to the garrison. I give her a wink on the way out the door, and yeah.
Yeah. So she totally catches the wink and like winks back as you leave. But as you leave, you do spot that the sky is starting to get pretty dark with the clouds, and you can hear a little bit of thunder off in the distance. Not too close, but just off in the distance. And you can hear the hammering of the blacksmith as you can hear him farrowing and shoeing horses.
Is that on our way to the garrison?
Yep. And as you get to the garrison, you can obviously, the blacksmith is there with one guard, and they're kind of passing horses to him and bringing the horse back, and then he shoes them and everything, and then they switch. And you can tell that these horses, like, he's doing the last one out of the 6 that they've brought.
Well, since it looks like our timing is indeed fortunate, I'm going to go up. Hey, Geralt.
And you see Geralt stops for a second. Actually, no, he doesn't even stop because he's so practiced at this. He's just doing it while looking up at you as he's like clipping the hooves and things, just instinct takes over, and he's just because he's a saddle dwarf, so they're very, very in tune with horses
Okay.
and all sorts of different mounts. So, he's just going at this, looks right up at you, and says, "Hi, what can I do you for?"
Well, we, as it turns out, we have a little business that we need to attend to at Fort Sinclair, and we were told that they send horses here on a regular basis to get reshod.
I'm sorry, you were cutting out. Can you say that again?
Oh, yeah. We were
It was
told
my headset. It's acting up.
we've got some business that we need to take care of at Fort Sinclair, and we were told that they send horses here on a regular basis to be reshod. We were hoping that as part of sending the horses back there, we could get on that detail and help out getting them back there, and at the same time have horses to speed up the journey.
Oh, well, you have to
I'm
talk
looking
to
at
the
the guard.
captain, but I definitely give him. I'll definitely give you my blessing if he asks for it.
I take it that's what you're doing right now.
Well, and he just finishes clipping the hoof, and he sets it down. And he goes, "There we go. That's the last one. So maybe he'll let you take some of them."
And I look at him. How long would it take you to sharpen these blades? Because I presume from the last battle they're kind of dull at this point.
Well, how many?
2 scimitars.
Is that all?
Yep.
20 minutes.
Cool. I hand over both of my blades to him.
And he takes the blades, and I'll get these taken care of.
Good deal.
And he goes over and begins, grind. He gets down to the grindstone, and he's starting to sharpen it and things. It's one of those pedal-operated ones that you see in Skyrim.
This guy. It's
So,
not in Skyrim, so it's legit.
so as you guys are kind of standing there, you see the captain kind of walk out because he's coming out to get the last horse. And he grabs onto the halter and he begins leading it.
Captain, I presume?
Yes.
Hi. We have some business to take care of at the fort, and we were told that you've got these horses that need to head back that way. We were wondering if we could go with whatever group you have going back, and maybe have our journey expedited a little bit by using the horses here.
Well, let me ask the boys. And he turns his head over to the guards that are kind of playing dice, and he says, Would Forge like to stay here?" And like the 4 that are sitting there playing dice look up at him and just, and he's like, "Well, I know you guys are people with good hearts, or else you wouldn't have helped me figure out what was going on with Dave. So I'll let you take the horses on account of you take them now. They're not scheduled to leave until tomorrow morning, but you just let them know when you get there that there's only going to be 2 soldiers coming back. Because normally we send all 6, but if there's no sense in sending them right now, they can stay until the next time.
Okay.
All right. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is this going to be like a train of like 6 horses going down there, basically?
No,
Is there a wagon, or is there like?
It's the 4 of us and 2 soldiers, I presume, riding on the 6 horses.
He asked you to leave tonight. That way you can let them know they're only bringing 2 soldiers back instead of 6.
Okay, I know. I was just making sure we're all just riding horses, though.
I gotcha.
Not in like a shelter of any kind.
Yeah, because you'll get there a half a day at least before these other soldiers show up. So.
Okay, one last check before we leave. Ruby would kind of inspect the soldiers just to kind of try to gauge how competent they look. Like if they are on like a scale of like commoner to guard, where would they probably stand? She's guessing they're probably not quite as good as a normal guard.
Well, these are actually locally recruited militiamen for the Minaran army, and and you can tell the captain doesn't quite fit the bill as the rest of them. You can tell the captain is actually part of the trained Minaran army, but he's just been around here for so long, it's kind of just getting to him too. So he's become so lax in what he's doing. But most of these guards do seem to be like they're the local kind of slack-jaw kind of guy. They're just commoners who are in soldiers' clothing essentially, but. They're trained for a little bit down in Fort Sinclair, and then they come back and they cycle guards out. And they recruit them into the Minaran army.
They look like certified red shirts, though, right?
Like what?
Like certified red shirts. They go down in one strike, probably.
Yeah, they look like certified red shirts.
They're in the Waycrest.
Okay. All right, Ruby would kind of nod and agree to this, and she would just hope to God they don't die before we get back to the other town. So that'd be annoying to have to explain that. He fell off his horse, I don't know.
Well, you're not traveling with them.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
That's why he asked you guys to leave tonight, because his soldiers were leaving in the morning.
Oh, okay, well, if they're going by themselves, then they're not going to even make it at all. So, yeah, we'll leave right now.
That's like a whole day you guys would be ahead of them.
Sure, we'll just head out with just the four of us and let them do their thing. Okay, I'm just trying to get this all squared away in my mind.
So, I actually think I'm gonna have to hop off here because I'm dead tired by this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man.
All right. Yeah. You guys have a good night.
Okay.
Later.
No problem. Well, you guys take the horses.
All three of the horses.
Well, Laughing Fox hops on one as well and follows along, obviously.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of, Laughing Fox is just kind of quiet the rest of the trip, and however far you guys get tonight, and just doesn't have a whole lot to say because she's just contemplating things about that experience that you had the previous night.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess we head out into the soggy, disturbing, wet march to the town. Have a great journey.
Okay. So, you guys, you said you were leaving the town, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are leaving the town, headed down to Fort Sinclair, and it begins to rain. And it begins to rain for like 10 or 15 minutes, right? Before you guys officially get out of the town. So you're kind of moving along, and as you get just outside of the town, maybe like a football field away, I need everyone to make a perception check.
Thank goodness Ruby's so perceptive. Bust out that +0.
At a +0, that's better than me.
16.
19. I don't know what my other bonus is because I can't. For some reason, my numbers didn't show up on my character sheet.
What's your wisdom?
Wisdom is 10.
Alright, so you probably have plus 0 unless you're trained in perception, which I don't think you
No.
do. So yeah.
Sorry, it's
Just a 19.
straight die roll. I had a 10.
So a 10 is 16 and a 19.
Is someone summoning like the pulse or something? 'Cause I swear to God, it's like
I can hear it now. I didn't hear anything before. But...
Might be the GM. I don't know.
The pulse? What?
There's like a weird, like staticky.
There's an electric feedback coming in through the mics.
It's kind of weird.
And I'm not seeing it register as anyone as someone's mic picking it up. So
let me try something real quick.
Just mute
I'll
them.
meet yourself in a minute, GM.
Unmute myself in a minute.
It's one of those two for sure.
yeah, I don't hear it at all.
Yeah, it's the GM.
Alright. I know why. He's charging up his headset. That's where the electrical magnetic is coming from.
Oh, yeah. I plugged my headset in. Hold on, let me take something like this.
Oh!
That was worse.
gotta bust out the. Oh, Bobby, no. All right. All
There
right.
we go. How's that?
So GM boss man, everything's good now. What do we see?
Okay. So I only see a 16 in there. What did everyone else get?
19 and a 10.
Okay, 16, 18, 10.
And I got a 19.
Okay. So you guys, the 16 and the 19, you guys, Ruby and Drygon, you guys see a figure just a little bit off the side of the road, kind of moving slowly, almost at a staggering pace, kind of. And you see it kind of stop and pick some things up off of obviously the swamp ground. And this figure's kind of just moving along on the left side of the road.
Gotcha.
This town never ceases to creep me out.
Yep. I can agree with that.
I ain't seen shit.
It's okay. You're still blinded with rage from earlier.
Yeah.
So you see this figure moving on the left side of the road. And as you kind of approach, you can kind of make out what appears to be a moose's head.
A moose's head.
Mm-hmm. With these antlers kind of reaching out. And this moose head is on this almost humanoid body as it's rustling around in the brush, leaning over from time to time. And you see it's got like just the briars and things kind of stuck in the antlers. And it's just kind of moving around through things. And Corey, by this time you can now see it. You can all kind of hear him snapping twigs and things as he's moving around, or excuse me, as it's moving around on the left side.
Ruby would kind of glance over. I think it might be a druid.
Could be
or
a force.
crazy person.
Could be one of those.
And I like
force.
So I pull my horse back and I'm like, there be something up ahead. And I like unsnap my sheath and like prepare myself in case they're unfriendly.
Hello, stranger. What are you doing out here? Maybe we would call out to the individual trying to get their attention.
She's muted if she's trying to talk.
Echo, you're muted right now. We're talking to you. We want you to be in our gang. Please respond.
She's trying to unmute it. There you go.
And I hear something from a distance, and I turn around, and I jump out into the road, and I yell, "Huzzah! Friends! How are you?"
I don't think they're hearing you, so.
We can hear her, but like maybe through your mic or something.
Yeah,
she's
you're
unmuted, but it's very, very quiet.
Is that better?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's. I mean, like the thing. It sounds like your internet is very choppy.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's like the best I can get it as close to my mouth as I can get it.
Okay.
I've got it like the volume up all the way.
Do you have the volume turned up all the way on your mic on Windows?
I don't know.
All right, time for me to be a tech geek. All right, what operating system are you currently working on? Or do you have another computer geek there that could potentially fix it for you?
I think Dustin's doing it.
Oh. So you're Dustin as well. Okay, all right.
No, she's friends with him and his wife or girlfriend.
Yeah, don't try to explain, my head already hurts. And remember, we have to be like appropriate because we don't want to scare off a new player.
I've played with her before. We're fine.
So the opposite of what we've been doing. I mean, don't try to strangle anybody.
Hey, I wasn't that bad, to be honest. It just certain chain events happened. Someone had to get punched in the face. I had my bro back. It was just like, bro law. You insult one of us, you insult us all. So he had to punch him in the face, or I was.
In the last game that I was in with her, she's the one who decided that my character was a chronic masturbator.
I did do that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I just want to let you know this is going live, which is awesome.
Can you guys hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah,
it's acceptable.
Yeah.
I can tolerate it.
That's a lot better.
I did decide you were a chronic masturbator last time, Corey. It's true.
Wow.
Well, you were a gnome. What else were you supposed to do?
That was my dwarf.
That's terrible feedback. Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's because both of you are like in the same room, and so.
It was because my subwoofer was on.
Oh.
Okay, so are we all good now?
Yes.
Just no, maybe. I can't hear anybody. I can't hear anybody now.
Can you hear us now? We are speaking to you from outer space. I would suggest having her relog.
Okay.
It's because we have your volume on mute.
You can't hear me.
Yeah, I got it. I have it now. I got it.
Hello, stranger.
Hello. Now I think we have it.
Okay. You hear all of us now.
Yes, I can hear everybody now, not just Dustin.
All right. Huzzah.
Okay. Huzzah, friends! What are you doing this way?
We're on our way to deliver the horses and other things. What are you doing out this way?
Oh, well, see, I was making a camp for the night over there in the woods. You see, Seclair is quite a long ways on foot, and penniless, that so-and-so back there, he won't let me come back to Maroon, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do. Do you happen to need a companion?
Ruby would snicker and look to companions.
Drag on. Why are everybody looking at me for? I haven't done what?
Ruby would kind of smile at her, and she would say, I think they might want companions. I don't know if they need companions.
Well, see, I'm a fantastic travel companion. You see, they call me the Jester. I have plenty of fun stories to tell, and I'm always cracking jokes. I promise I won't be too much trouble.
What's with the head.
The moose head.
Well, what's with the
The weird.
my headdress? I'm sorry. And as I take off my moose head, you see a straggly looking woman, sort of pot faced, missing most of her teeth. She looks like she's road weary and she's covered in mud. And see, this is part of my act. You see, are you familiar with the Wendigo?
No.
I think Ruby might.
Is my character? I have
Ruby
no
would-
idea.
I think Ruby would probably know.
knows. He knows a lot of legends and shit, so he might.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a what check you
Arcana or nature?
Yeah, Dustin, your audio is like going through her mic or some shit now.
I'm trying to keep myself muted, but I don't need to say too much.
Well, even when you unmute yourself, you're very, very quiet.
Well, do you want Arcana or history, or nature? Well, Ruby would know because she has over a 20 on the check. She'd say, "Oh yeah, I know about Wendigos. They're these strange, frightening creatures that, the source of many cold weathers and perhaps much worse."
Oh, you think you know so much. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But see, the Wendigo, he's my hero. See, I want to look just like him, and he looks a lot less scary than I do, and she plops her head back on. But I can tell you all about him on the way if you'd like, and I have plenty of other stories to tell. I'm a riot.
Ruby would smile and look to Thronk, and she would say, "Oh, my half-orc friend here would love to hear all your stories. He loves stories. The better, the better. The funnier, the better. The longer, the better."
Thanks. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So,
I can always use new stories.
Let me pack up my things here, and I assume you'd like to be on your way tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are trying to be there as quickly as we can.
Give me just a moment. I'll be with you in just a moment. She runs off to the woods and grabs her few sticks and puts them in her bag, and straightens her moose head, and grabs 2 flasks of water and wraps them around her waist, and she walks up to the group and sort of dances gaily and says, "I'm ready. Let's go. I'll keep up as best as I can."
I think he has room on his horse for a second. Ruby would kind of suggest with a devilish grin.
If any of us are sharing a rider, it's going to be you.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, the strain on the horse.
I'm
They can only carry so much weight.
I'm still short of breath, you know.
Shut up.
From the strangling.
Get on Ruby. That one over there.
I have an idea. How about we do a little riddle to see who gets to enjoy my companionship on their horse?
Oh, we're good. You can ride with her, and I start trotting up ahead.
Well,
Ruby would totally agree to the riddles.
well, see, Ruby, if you're the only one playing the riddle, it doesn't really help us a whole lot now, does it? You must really want to ride with me. I am quite the boisterous companion.
Ruby would at least realize that this couldn't be possibly worse than having to ride with Thronk. So she would totally take the riddle.
Okay, so I climb on the back of Ruby's horse, and I sit backwards, facing the rear of the horse, and my head is tilting back and forth as the horse gallops, and I'm singing songs, and they don't seem to make a whole lot of sense. They ramble a lot about. She sings a lot about bugs and dead things, and she just laughs spontaneously without any real reason.
I would imagine.
Every so often.
I'd imagine after an hour or so, Ruby would kind of smile and turn around and look back at you, and she would say, "You know, I have some interesting stories too. let me regale you with the theories of micro and macroeconomics.
Oh God.
I do a wanna. See, no, you need none of those things out here in the woods. Have you seen some of the creatures that live out here? They're a riot. The wolves, they look like they're eating their own flesh. It's hilarious.
What?
We have seen the wolves.
We actually have seen the wolves. They were very good at eating stuff, just not other people.
Oh.
They're great at eating themselves, though.
Ruby's
I
regretting
actually,
life choices.
I actually snicker at that one.
And I'm going to keep to myself a little bit of a grimace. Kind of used to unconventional travel companions, so
Ruby would continue, and she would wonder if this is how they feel when she talks. But she wouldn't say anything negative, and she would just kind of she would battle back and forth with this individual, attempting to tell more inane stories than she could. And even though her stories might have more relevance than her own, Ruby would just really require that she listen to these great, interesting topics about economics, perhaps supply and demand, and external forces, and trade embargoes and such. And she would try to make it as dry as possible. Unless there's and after a while, she maybe feels like she's defeated the strange druid, and she'd feel a little bit bad about that, and she would offer up some of her own knowledge of nature, and she would kind of go off on a tangent about the different animals, and you could probably tell pretty quickly. And although Ruby knows a lot about economics, she also is like a trained scholar, so she does know about animals. And she would mention, the wolves and their strange mating patterns and their strange tactics for combat and hunting strategies. And she would try to regain the favor of her perhaps angered ally who had gone silent.
Oh, see.
Okay, we're having technical difficulties again.
yeah.
Yeah, on both of y'all, and both James, our GM and our new friend are both not coming through.
Yeah. Can't hear you at all.
I forgot I had 2 mutes on.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So,
I hope I'm not like ruining her whole life because she's not responding to me.
Actually, I think she's in the process of trying to get her stuff in order because she just muted herself. So I think she's trying to get stuff to come through correctly.
Well,
That feedback is a definite that they're trying to work stuff out.
Are they in the same room or in the same house?
Same room, I believe.
we are having some technical difficulties. Her headset is doing something weird. You're not. Okay, gotcha. Only the mic works on it. The earpieces don't.
Do you got a spare headset?
I do. One sec.
All right.
What I would suggest is they just sit next to each other and just use the same headphones and microphone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We'll see when they swap headsets. That might fix some stuff.
Train wreck. But it doesn't help either that their internet seems to not appreciate two people at the same time.
Right.
Starting to feel bad. I thought I like traumatized her with my theories of economics.
You haven't even gotten to.
I haven't even gotten to sunk costs.
Right.
price ceilings and price floors, and how they're the bane of all true free markets.
No,
Economies of scale. Come on now.
yeah, no discussion of adding extra stops into train train rails, so as to
I mean,
force
how could
people
that
to
possibly?
switch trains and stuff.
How could that possibly make it less efficient? I mean, if we just put a stop at every single city, I mean,
Right,
I don't see
but not
that.
just a stop. You have to make sure that they have to switch tracks.
Oh,
That the
of
tracks
course.
don't actually go through, so people have to get off the train and go into the city. But
That's
clearly,
true.
that's how you bolster the
I
economy.
mean, especially when you make magnet trains. I mean, that's how you do it, right?
Mhm.
You gotta get those. You gotta get those things going up to a top speed of about 40 miles an hour before they have to stop again.
Mm.
That's how you get there really fast. Just stop every 10 miles. Get there in an hour.
Mhm.
That only helps out 2 people. San Diego and San Francisco. Nah, who are you kidding? It would stop at LA. San Diego don't care about going anywhere else. They don't even care about going to their own Charger games. I think the Chargers have like the sorriest home
Okay,
fans ever.
we got it figured out. It was her headset wasn't set to the proper device, so I just changed it. All done.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
I just want to be sure. Does her character hate mine now? I'm just curious.
you can talk normal now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's unmuting herself again. Okay. You're fine. Your mute's off though. Okay, are you saying anything? Oh, okay. You got it on the trigger.
I'm seeing my Steam keep popping up.
Sorry,
One
guys.
hopping on Fallout 4.
Very sorry about that. So I need perception check.
Uh oh.
As you were riding on your horses, talking with one another.
Mm-hmm.
I need her to roll a knowledge check to see if she understood any of it. DC is 20. Oh, and I net 20 my perception check. See, it's so second nature to me, the theories of economics, that actually focuses me more. Gets me hyped up.
You did? We'll get you back in. Just use the link in the thing I had for you. Echo accidentally hung up.
Right.
She'll be back in a second. So, what you guys see is I see someone got a 20 and a 19.
Ruby got that nat 20.
Awesome.
Did
So,
did I need to roll?
well, yeah, everyone perception, including you.
15.
So, Ruby and Juve, the two of you would see this. Moving along the sides of the horses, you see 3 dog-like figures. And as they come creeping a little bit closer, you're able to see that these are 3 wolves tracking you.
I unsnap my scimitar, and I let the sheath of my scimitar. I let my half orc compatriot nudge him like,
Yeah, not in.
so not to alarm you and don't get skittish. We have wolves following us.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Now, you can definitely tell, now that you're all kind of aware of them, that they're getting ready to spring on you. But you guys catch them before that surprise. So what do you guys do in preparation?
Ruby would immediately attack them with her throwing daggers. But she would alert her friend that's riding with her. Oh, I found those wolves you were speaking about. Apparently, they want to eat us.
Oh, wow! Oh, wait, but they might eat themselves first. Oh, wait, they already have. And have the horses stopped yet? Are you stopped? Or are you still riding?
Oh, we haven't stopped yet. No.
I don't
Okay.
know if
Well,
we're going to stop the horses.
okay.
All right,
Well,
cool.
I she reaches to her side and haphazardly gets a rusty iron short sword from her side. And she says, "I'm ready for anything. Bring it."
Oh. And what my character does is that with one motion using athletics, I jump up on top of the horse to get into a pouncing position, which I got 12, 13, 14. I have athletics, but I don't know what the base supposed to be, but the bonus for
2 plus your strength.
2 plus your strength.
Which is,
okay.
3 or 2?
2.
Alright, so it's +4 on whatever you roll.
Okay. So that's, on the 12, that'd be 13, 14, 15, 16 on the athletics check. And I am planning to, like, in my picture that I'm in, that is my icon. That is the move I'm going for the first set of wolves.
Okay.
Excellent.
So you're just prepared for it, just up on top of your mount, standing on it, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Dustin, I'm thinking that this is intentional, where you're trying to speak loud enough to come through her mic.
No. Sorry. I forgot I was muted.
Okay.
But yes, excellent. That is awesome. So you jump up onto the wolf or not the wolf. Sorry, the horse, and you're prepared. I need initiative from everyone.
I have a 3.
You'd see Ruby would be holding her 2 short swords, actually. Oh, yes. That massive 3 on the die. For a total of 6.
Oh, yeah. I got better than that. I got 9.
High rollers. Rolling
That's
that
making me feel good with my 8 here.
That D10. Oh, wait.
So that was a really good initiative all the way around there. That was...
At least I'm not last.
Wow. And what did you get, Jume?
9. Yeah, 9.
Okay.
So do we get a sneak attack on these guys, or what? Or attack of opportunity?
Yes, you guys will be getting 1 round ahead. So you all will be taking 1 round before they get to go. So you guys
Okay,
can
and
your round in initiative order, and then you can get another round.
okay, and do we get any advantage? Do we get advantage at this point or no?
Well, the advantage is the additional round.
Okay, gotcha.
Slay the puppies.
So as soon as, I get one close to me, I literally, in one quick motion, jump up on top of the horse in a spring, look like I'm about to pounce, and then I jump forward, scimitars in the air, with a death snarl as I try to chop the first wolf in half whenever my initiative come up.
You're first, so it's right now.
All right. So my attack roll is a natural 20.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead. That's like a...
So you're gonna give me damage.
Okay.
If it lives, you're gonna feel very bad.
Alright, so this is going to be 1d6 plus 3.
You roll an extra damage die. Because it's a crit.
So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that's double, I guess, so that's...
No. You, are we using the default rules for crits, or are you using something different?
You roll the die, add your modifiers, and double it.
Oh, okay, yeah. What weapon are you using?
A scimitar.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, that would be 1 plus 3 times 2. So I'm guessing it's 4 times 2, which is 8.
8, and then on the other one would be 6 plus 3 would be 7, 8, 9. So you double that.
Oh, well, only one of those is a crit.
Oh yeah, if it's 2 of them, then don't you need 2 attacks?
Apparently those are his 2 attacks. You rolled a 7 and a 20 on your attacks?
No, I rolled a 20 on the first on the
Right.
attack. I didn't know. I forgot that the scimitar was Since I'm
Well,
doing.
you need to roll for each attack. The first attack is a crit for 8. You need to roll the second attack.
All right. Second attack will be 18,
Nice. That definitely hits.
Unmute yourself.
and that will be a 4, 5, 6, 7.
Excellent. That is
Unmute.
that is enough to kill it. So describe to me how you come down on this thing off your horse in some sort of.
So as I'm flying in the air with both scimitars out, I crash down and I literally chop the head off first, and then chop the torso in half. The other way, as you don't even hear anything, just like the slicing of meat and the pulling out of entrails.
Gotcha. So you just slice this thing through. In fact,
Yeah.
it feels like it's easy to go through it like butter, because when you feel your scimitars go into it, it's kind of like its flesh has already partially been decaying. And when you rip through it, the smell that comes out is very, very pungent. And it's kind of like rotting, rancid flesh. And it kind of splatters blood all the way, across your face, and it's all over you. And I need a Constitution save.
Are you sick? Really?
Bum, bum, bum.
I failed my Constitution save.
The serial puker strikes again.
Really, dude? I just kill an animal. You gonna penalize me for my kill?
No, I'm not penalizing for the kill. Don't worry about this.
It's okay, you're just infected.
So you slice this thing clean in half, and it is down. You're just kind of covered in its blood, and this rancid smell kind of seeps out of it once you do so.
Okay, do I sew up? So am I yakking at this point?
No, you don't feel any different whatsoever.
Alright, up next is our half-orc.
Okay,
Oh,
there's
this is
one
bad.
left that I'm aware of.
No,
Two.
Two left. Are they next to each other?
Yes, Dragon jumped off and slayed the one by itself, and the other two are front and back to each other on the left side.
Okay. Well, from my horse, looking over, trying to look over my shoulder as best I can. You can then see me make some arcane gestures, and you'll see two very dark blue, almost blackish, acid-like orbs form in my hand. That seem to be crackling with a blue electric current, and I throw them back over my shoulder as they go straight toward the two wolves, smacking each in the face for an acid.
When you look over...
Unmute yourself!
Oh, sorry.
Corey, when you look over, you do notice that of these two wolves, one of them has the torn away chunk where its skull is kind of exposed. The very same one that you had seen and threw the acid at, but it got away from you the first time.
Okay. Well, they're both going to need to make a reflex.
Gotcha. Let's see, got a
Or dexterity.
16 for the first one,
Alright.
and a 21 for the second one.
Well, okay. So the two orbs will just kind of sail right by their faces and splash on the ground behind them.
Yeah, and the wolf snarls at you like it recognized that trick before.
Okay.
And next is Ruby, correct?
Yeah, Ruby kind of looks down on these two wolves that jump out of the way of the acid, and she kind of frowns a bit. Her ally not jumping into the fray to give her an opportunity to catch these monsters off guard with the proper sneak attack. But She will still try to just throw some daggers at them, hoping maybe his attack will distract him for just a moment for her to land a clean blow on them.
Gotcha.
And it's 16 and a 14.
Both of them are gonna hit.
All right, so you see these two daggers kind of fly from her hands and strike the first wolf in the front, the one with half a face, perhaps. And it takes a total of 9 damage as both these daggers just sink deep into its squishy, mushy body.
Gotcha.
And then you would see her, as an interaction, pull out another dagger.
Okay.
So as Lucia is facing backwards, and the horse goes past the two wolves, she takes her rusty short sword and she swings it and rolls. So she swings it very haphazardly and just flails it to the side, and it comes back, and the hilt hits her in the thigh, and she goes, "Ow! I never was very good with this thing."
So, did you get off the horse before you started swinging, or?
No.
Oh, you attack the wolf from
Why
the
do
horse.
that?
As I'm riding backwards.
Excellent. Okay. So now we're coming back around to the actual first round. After the surprise round. And one of these two wolves are going to get to go next. The first one, the one that has the skull kind of exposed, it makes a quick go at the horse that is closest to it, which I believe would be Thronk. I don't know you guys' exact layout, how you were riding. I'm guessing Jube's on the far right and Thronk on the left.
It wants revenge.
Gotcha. So it goes straight after your horse, Thronk. And it does spook the horse. So I need a handle animal check.
It's gonna go well.
Or an escape artist check if you want to try to slip off of it.
Acrobatics check, you mean?
Or acrobatics, yes.
You're used to saying that.
I know which one's mathematically better, but
I would go with animal handling because you don't want to fall off.
yeah, well, yeah. And I also don't want the horse to die because we kind of took responsibility for them. So I'm going to try the animal handling.
Okay.
Five? How's a five?
Five
work for you?
Okay, so Thronk, you are forcefully thrown from this horse. I'll let you describe how, but you are thrown from this horse, and you take 1d4 falling damage as you hit the ground with a hard thud.
Okay.
You can go ahead and roll that. That was me dropping my dice as I was trying to do that.
I will roll my own damage.
You rolled a 4,
Roll
didn't
high,
you?
A one? A one? Oh, 4.
What'd you get?
I got 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you take 4 falling damage as you hit the ground with a crack, probably. So go ahead and...
It's okay, his head broke the fall, guys.
As the wolf comes up and starts nipping at the side of the horse, the horse feels the feels the teeth not quite making purchase into it, but starts and gets over into the side of the road a little bit, and in there bucks and throws me off further off to the side of the road into a shrub.
Now, as you are landing in the shrub, the second wolf makes its attack, and as you land on the ground, it immediately pounces on you, Corey.
It's okay, it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Just a con save.
He did land in a shrubbery, so.
Okay, so I don't think your AC is lower than a 6. So
No.
describe to me how you, like what do you do to avoid this thing tearing into your neck as it tries to bite at you?
As it's pouncing, I'm able to move. I'm able to roll over just a little bit so that it lands into the shrubbery a little bit above and can't quite manage to get through the branches to where I'm at.
Awesome. And then it's going to be back to the top of the order, Dragon.
Since I see the thing take off and there's only one wolf left, I'm like, okay, they should be able to handle the wolf. I'm gonna try to go catch the other horse.
Well, there's 2 wolves, but
There's two wolves. There's two wolves still left.
yeah,
On the left
the
side,
one that
yes.
spooked the horse and the one that tried to lunge at Corey.
Yeah, okay, fine. I will. How far is what's the closest wolf near me?
The closest wolf is about 15 feet from you.
I go after the closest wolf, and let's see what I roll. That's a hit, and the second attack is also a hit.
Excellent. So let's get damage.
That's 4 plus 3, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
8, 9, 10.
10. Okay. So you do some pretty serious damage to this thing. And it lets out a yelp, a slash, kind of like a whelp and a howl mixed together, like woo! And it just, blood just splashes onto the ground. But as you guys are standing around these things, you can't help but notice that it looks like they have patches of fur just kind of falling off of them, and their skin is kind of exposed and scratched at and bloody, and they just have a very rancid odor to them. And it's on to you, Thronk.
Okay. Well, with this wolf in the shrubbery, still snarling and trying to claw its way to me, and me just rolling out of the way a little bit and still laying on the ground. I'm going to try to roll over so I'm facing it a little bit better, and put and you can see a crackle of electricity start moving down my arm toward my hand again as I reach out towards it. Almost surprised myself in the way that this is happening. It's not like this is different. Intending to use my acid again, but this is doing something a little bit different with the adrenaline and everything else. So I gesture my hand towards it, and I will need to roll. I will just give you my my roll with the bonus, and then you can figure out whatever negatives you want for shooting this thing in the shrubbery and being on my back and
You can just
all
stand
that
up.
stuff.
It's not like it's gonna kill you.
But it fits better if I don't, because like if I have the time to stand up, it's not as shocking as like to bring out new spells.
Yeah. It's for the story, man.
That's going to be a 13.
A 13?
Yep.
A 13 actually meets, so you
Cool.
succeed.
All right, and then that's going to be I will connect with the witch bolt, which shows as is almost like a flash of lightning shooting out of my hand, but it stays connected to it.
Gotcha.
So like a continual beam of electricity shooting from my hand into the wolf.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that'll be 5 damage this round.
5 damage. Okay. And Cadwell.
Huh?
Or excuse me, Lucia.
Ruby had higher initiative.
Ruby's first.
Oh, Ruby, sorry.
I
The
haven't
writing's
fallen asleep.
really late.
I haven't fallen asleep yet, bro. And Ruby would use her interaction to pull out her second dagger, and she would just kind of aim the daggers. Oh, my dog's running full retard. You would aim both daggers at the wolf that's not being electrocuted to death. I imagine that's the which one is that? So Corey that was doing the witch lightning or whatever it's called.
Witch bolt. Yeah, he's like lying in a shrub, shooting
Okay.
this thing up at the wolf as it's kind of like on the shrub with him.
Is that
like,
the leader one?
Get to him. No, the leader one is the one that Drygon came over and took a really good gash.
All right, Ruby would just toss both her daggers at that guy, hoping to find an opening as Drygon distracts them.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely.
And then as I try to distract, I'm like, here, puppies, come on.
And as the wolves kind of lunge at him, they get 2 daggers to the neck. Basically,
Awesome.
13 I imagine is a hit, right?
Yes.
All right, so you see these 2 daggers kind of fly out, catching the wolf off guard as it lunges for the dragon. And apparently my dice aren't that good tonight, but still it's a total of 9 damage as these 2 daggers kind of just plunge into the neck of this wolf, roughly.
Well, that's more than enough to kill it. So.
All right. So you see these 2 daggers kind of fly out. The first one kind of hits the creature and gets a yelp out of it, and then the second dagger kind of just pierces through the back of its neck and out the other side, and the creature probably slumps over dead, not quite sure what was going on in its wretched, diseased state. And then Ruby would kind of look back to her friend and say, you are right about these wolves. They're very good at getting themselves killed. They're experts at dying.
Oh, they are indeed.
And that would be it for Ruby. She can't do anything else this turn.
Awesome. So as this last wolf is being electrocuted by this beam coming out of the hand of Thronk, it makes one last try to lunge to try to get at him.
You just skipped our druid again.
Okay. Oh, I thought you just... Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm the last at the bottom. I'm at the bottom of the order, remember? Okay, so she pushes herself off the back end of the horse and kind of falls in the mud, and she runs over and she sees that this wolf being electrocuted by a lightning bolt coming from Thronk's hand, and the other 2 are slayed, and she stands there with her hands on her hips, and she inhales very deeply and goes, I love the smell of rotting flesh in the morning. And that's all she does.
And I just look on like, really? Really?
I tried to warn you.
Okay. So...
Your little green friend seems to have that one under control just fine.
So, as this wolf is, like I was saying before, it's like on the shrubbery trying to lunge at you, Thronk. As it's trying to come at you, these teeth come down on you. On your arm specifically, because it's the closest thing it could reach. It's the only thing it's able to get a hold of. And when it does 5 damage to you.
Excellent.
So he does some pretty significant damage to your arm. What is your hit points at again? Let me see. Your
I am
max
now
hit
at
points
6.
is 15?
I'm now at 6.
Okay. So he gets a pretty good bite onto your arm. He doesn't leave any sort of long-term damage to you, though.
Concentration.
And we're going to need you to make a concentration on his turn, correct?
It's immediately when you take the damage.
Immediately. Okay. So
Easy, dude.
concentration.
DC 10. You're a tough guy.
Oh yeah.
The die roll's a 12.
Oh, you're good to go.
I'm not sure what to add onto it, but
It's just your constitution, unless you have proficiency. It's just a con saving throw.
Okay.
DC 10.
Well,
Yeah, it's either DC 10 or half the damage, whichever is higher. So obviously you didn't take 21 damage, so it's just a DC 10.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's it's 15.
Okay, excellent. So you're able to maintain this bolt going into its body as its head is kind of coming down and latching onto your arm and tearing into your muscles with its teeth. And Dragon, it's up to you.
I'm gonna try to go take care of it and kill it. That would be the first attack would be 11. The second attack would be a 15.
Is that just an 11 or?
11 plus.
Gotta pop out those modifiers before you say what they are. Make it easier for everybody. It's plus
Well, I'm
4.
trying. Yes, plus 4. So
Just
Okay,
always,
then
whenever
yeah.
you roll a number, just always add 4, and then.
okay. 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18.
Excellent. Thank you, Corey.
It's really hard sometimes, you know.
Right?
I'm trying.
So,
trying to
Dragon,
get this
both of
dark
those
enough
are
for you.
going to hit.
They're going to hit. So, let me see. Now let me add in do the damage rolls. That's a 1. That's a 4 plus damage modifier. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, wait a minute. Let me do that again. That's 5 total. 11 points of damage total.
Wow, so you destroy this thing.
So what you see is me fling both of my scimitars at the wolf as he's trying to fling the wolf off, and they basically get thrown. One severs the head, the other one pits the wolf to the ground.
Awesome. So when his head gets lobbed off, and he's like over this bush over top of you, Corey, its blood just kind of sprays all over into the bush with you in it, and you can smell this rancid stench kind of coming out of its insides. And I need a Constitution save.
He rolled a 1.
No, it wasn't a 1. It was it's gonna be a 10.
A 10. Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not going to tell you if that's a fail, but you know.
So, the wolves are all dead, and one of the horses kind of took off.
Ruby would suggest that did Dragon get injured at all in that fight?
Nope.
Ruby would look over to Dragon and she would say, "Can you chase after that horse? I need to treat our friend here. He seems to have a very badly infected bite."
All right, let me go, and I rush off and try to catch the other horse.
And
I
Ruby,
do pick up my weapons just to let you know before I take off.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruby would collect her weapons, but not until after she treats her friend's injuries. So you basically see her pull out some proper medicine, and she would apply these like painkillers, and she'd kind of try to clean it out a little bit, and she would heal him for a total of. Ooh, that's not good. 6. She'd heal him for 7.
For 7? Oh, cool.
6. No, I'm sorry, 8. 8. That's probably half your health, right?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, it's just about. I'm one short of max now.
All right, so she'd pretty much bandage and wrap up your injuries, and she would say, "Be a little bit more careful. These things, they don't look exactly like they're disease-free."
I was thrown off my horse.
Ruby would say, Ruby likes giving out bad advice. She would say, "Oh, I would suggest holding on next time. It's easier to hold on to the horse when you have the reins in your hands."
Okay, thank you. I will remember that.
Yeah, no problem. If you ever need any advice on riding a horse, I don't really know anything about it, but I know a lot about horses. Okay. See, they're very frightful animals, and when they get scared, they like to run.
I'm basically sitting there like doing this in character too.
and she would kind of almost go on and off into a tangent about horses and stallions and their breeding practices. And then after a while, she'd realize that perhaps he doesn't need all this information to ride a horse, and she'd say, "Oh, yeah, just keep an eye out for that. It's very dangerous."
So,
She would
And
pat you on the back.
as Ruby would turn and walk away, I'm going to be like, I want to give you some advice on shoving a lightning bolt up your ass. Just muttering it, not so Ruby would hear it.
She saves your life.
After just muttering it under my breath, just to myself, and I'm waiting till Ruby was walking away to say it.
Ruby's not very perceptive, so she wouldn't even. She'd be like, "Oh, it's a very strange trick. I don't know how to shove lightning bolts anywhere."
okay, so Drygon heads off, and he comes across a horse because it stopped running a few hundred yards down. He's able to bring it back. But you guys...
99.6, 99.8.
What?
I've been sitting... Oh, I'm sorry. Someone was talking to me. I'm going to mute my mic.
So, you guys get all the way... you guys get back together, and you're finally able to... take a moment to catch your breath and things, and the sun is definitely coming down. And I would like to wrap it up here that you guys are going to be starting a camp. And when we come back next time, then we will discuss the activities of the night and the next morning.
Is there?
And hopefully we won't have technical issues next
Yeah,
time.
no technical issues next time.
And just can we, when we stop to rest, is there a nearby stream or anything so we can wash all this bloody blood off of us?
Well, you're kind of surrounded by...
You're in the swamp, my friend. There's water everywhere.
all along the left side of the road is like a mire. So there's plenty of standing water to wash yourself in.
But be care of the vitriols.
Oh, God.
So we will go ahead and wrap it up here, and we will come back on the next session and talk about the night that you guys stay. That way Laughing Fox also has a chance to ask questions and find out what's going on as well.
Okay.
So, is next week his last session or the week after that?
He said
the week after next, I believe.
Okay.
Well, he said 2 weeks, so I don't know if that's today's Monday, so this is 1 week, and then next week would be
Either way, it sounds like we might be able to at least get 2 to 3 more sessions in since then, so that'll give us time to plan what we're going to do.
We also have to plan for our friend who's going to be taking off soon.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, Mike.
Yeah, is she gonna be staying full time or?
Who, me?
Yeah, or is this a one time?
No, I'm just right now. I'm just Lucia for right now. I am in his local group that's running this game. We are way further ahead. So that's kind of where how I know where you guys are at.
It's funny because he said something different to us. That we're farther ahead because we did the quest.
Well, we got to this point. We were walking down the road in the middle of the night, and one of the wolves attacked my companion, which Corey knows, Sarah. She's playing a bard this game, and it's kind of terrible. Yeah. But anyway, she gets attacked in the from behind. So I jump on this wolf. I'm
this
a
is
rogue
still
in the game,
live, so.
and stab it in the eyeball.
You want to end the call or end the?
Yeah, I'm going to stop the broadcast. That way we can chat some more.
Thank you for coming by, watching us kill each other and kill other things. It's been great.
Yeah.
We'll talk for now.